The Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association presents Freshman Focus, a look at 2-year-olds in training across the Buckeye State. Freshman Focus is presented by Eldorado Scioto Downs. Racing begins May 12th with the next generation scheduled for July 4th. By Sugar Valley Farm. Looking for your next quality standardbred racehorse? Look no further than Sugar Valley Farm in Delaware, Ohio. And by the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center. Caring down to a science. Now here's your host, Roger Houston.
Welcome back to another edition of Freshman Focus. We're at the Winner's Circle Training Center to interview trainer Virgil Morgan about his 2-year-olds in training in 2022. After this message, we'll be back to talk with Virgil Morgan.
Looking for your next champion? Look no further than Sugar Valley Farm in Delaware, Ohio. Sugar Valley's lineup of stallions include world champion Down by the Seaside, Lather Up, the fastest horse in harness racing history, Little Brown Jug champion, Well Said, Catch the Fire, Marseille, plus the newest stallion of the Sugar Valley lineup, Mission Accepted, and returning to Sugar Valley Farm, Creatine. Sugar Valley Farm, the home of champions.
Freshman Focus 2022. And with us, as he was with us last year early in the season, Hall of Famer, Virgil Morgan Jr. Virgil, real quick, I see you got more horses this year than you had last year overall.
Yeah, overall a few more, but not a whole lot. You know, I've had close to 90 here before, and then it's been down to 60, so you know, it stays in that range. Right now we've got close to 70 here, and then 10 at Gateway, New Jersey. So that's the number right now.
With a larger stable, large number of people working for you, caretakers and trainers and such. Employees are very important, aren't they?
Yeah, I've got great help, and you know, you're when you have an operation like this with as many horses as I do, your help, you're only as good as your help, because you know, they've got to buy into your plan and what you do every day, and I can't say enough about my help between here and New Jersey. Paul Stratton's worked for me for over 20 years in New Jersey at Gateway. He does an excellent job, and then my help here, I would venture to say I probably have the lowest turnover rate in harness racing. I've got grooms that have been with me 20 years, 15 years, so that's a huge asset for me.
You know, a caretaker's with the horse day in and day out, and you're with them out there on the racetrack and such. Sometimes do caretakers point out things that maybe you wouldn't realize?
Yeah, you know, they're with those particular 4, 5, 6 every day. You know, they're brushing them up, they're getting them ready, they're picking their feet, they're you know, they're with them, you know, all day long. So sure, you know, I'm on the track, I'm training the majority of the time here, and definitely input from my grooms. It's very valuable.
How many 2-year-olds are you dealing with this season?
I've got 26 here and one more coming from Florida.
And how many of those are Ohio breds?
Oh, probably, I'm guessing 16. 16.
The process of getting horses from the sale, are you involved with all of their purchases, or do you get them from owners to have you train?
It's a mixture. You know, I've got some of the greatest owners in racing. Dana Parham, Odds On Racing, Carl Howard, Dick McClellan, Larry Wills. I can't name them all, but there's Richard Arnold, Willow Oak Farm out of Tennessee. So, for example, you know, Dana, he went to the sale and he purchased 10, but he probably has arguably one of the best broodmare bands in the country, 44 broodmares. So, you know, he's breeding a lot, and we don't have the homebreds yet, but next year I'm sure hopefully some of those will be coming in, and then purchasing horses. Richard Arnold, he breeds his own. Excellent broodmare band. He's got like 20 broodmares, so it's a mixture. Carl Howard has a few broodmares now, but he goes to the sale, so it's just it's a mixture of sales and homebreds.
You have a large contingent of horses from Odds On Racing and Dana Parnham. They're all fillies, though.
He's focused strictly, I think, the last couple years, if not more than that, since I've been with him, on fillies and building his broodmare band. He's looking for pedigree, and he's looking for conformation, and he's looking for something that he can breed after it's done racing. So he has a huge residual value that way. And like I said, I think he told me the other day he's got 44 mares in foal, I believe. So yeah, that's his plan.
A lot of trainers and owners, big owners in the business, they race them as 2- and 3-year-olds, and then they sell them after the 3-year-old campaign.
I think some people have a rule of that, and I'm all about making money. I mean, if we can make money, race it. If there's some people just strictly sell no matter what, and maybe that's good for them. But the way the purse structure is now, there's so much money to be made as a 4-, 5-, and 6-year-old now. So I think it depends on the individual person. But again, if you've got a really nice mare, like right now, the matchmaker's going on at Yonkers. That's $40,000 a week, and then a final for aged mares. I mean, they're in the opens are going for close to $30,000 at Miami Valley. Scioto Downs will go for close to 30. So it's really, some people, again, that's their thing. They sell after 3-year-old. But I think it depends on the horse. If you can make money, keep pushing.
Of all the Ohio breds that you have, on the pacing side, you've got 5 down by the seasides. On the trotting side, they're all 5 of them. What the hill?
Yeah, down by the seaside, I think he's definitely, he's already taken us to the next level in this state. I've been here my whole life. I've waited for a sire like that. I was hoping it would be Pet Rock. He's thrown some good horses. But I think down by the seaside had 4, if not 5, in the Breeders' Crown. I mean, that's amazing statistic considering his first crop and the mares he was bred to. I'll take all those that I can get. Yeah, I've got some down by the seasides. What the Hill, I thought he did okay. Our trotting, we're still waiting on that sire to take us to the Hambo, so to speak, that caliber. But hopefully we can get there soon here in Ohio.
Any of these young horses standing out for you right now?
Yeah, they're all training good. I really I like some a little better than others, but we've been in 221, 222, and if they're going to be good, they better be good doing that. So I don't like to say too much.
The Buckeye State, the state of Ohio, just seems like this is the right place to be with all the racing opportunities and the purses.
Yeah, across the board. I mean, sire stakes, Buckeye, our fair program is excellent. You got a fair final. So it's I can't say enough about it. What the state, what we've done, and the money we get to race for. Even the aged horses, aged sire stakes is back now. That's nice to have. But 2- and 3-year-olds, you got a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. And plan C, I had a filly last year, a 3-year-old filly. She made $100,000 and never raced in the sire stakes, and that's unheard of. In the past, the winner of the final of the sire stakes, would make $100,000. But yeah, it's a very good situation to be in right now in Ohio.
One thing I've noticed, this Virgil Morgan Jr. stable, truly a family operation.
Yeah. I've my sister, she's my bookkeeper. I couldn't exist without her. She does an excellent job. Trey and Kiara, they started working for me and were going to school and to college, and I never really thought that they would. My daughter, she's always rode equestrian. I thought she might want to dabble in it, but they've dove into it. And, they are a huge asset to my operation, and I can't say enough how good they're doing. They train with me every day. They're doing an excellent job.
Also noticed last year the youngsters have got involved in horse ownership.
Yeah, they've got a few now. I think they're up to I think 5, and they're looking for more. They're doing good, and they've earned the right to have some ownership in the stable. So yeah, they're doing good.
Well, that about wraps up our interview portion of Freshman Focus with trainer Virgil Morgan Jr. Virgil and myself will be heading into the barn in just a few moments, but take a look at some of these young horses in his stable for 2022. We'll be back with more on Freshman Focus after this message.
Racing returns to Eldorado Scioto Downs May 12th. Catch the excitement all summer long, Tuesday through Saturday. First post time is 3:15. Mark your calendars to see the future stars with the $150,000 Next Generation July 4th. The top 2-year-old pacers and trotters. Horse players earn points with the new Caesars Rewards program. Eldorado Scioto Downs. Racing returns May 12th.
Your animals provide unconditional love. When they hurt, you want the best care available to help them enjoy life again. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center is here for you and for them. From heart disease to cancer, diabetes to broken bones, and 24-hour emergency services, Ohio State's team of experts make a difference in the lives of animals and the family members who love them. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center.
Welcome back to this edition of Freshman Focus. First one we're going to take a look at is a 2-year-old filly by What the Hill Trotter.
Yeah, we purchased her at Lexington. Steve Finkelstein, Jezza Merle stable out of New York. He was there with his daughters, and they came into Lexington to watch Hercules race. And she's a What the Hill out of Consolidator. Consolidator was a really nice filly in Ohio. I think she was 3-year-old filly of the year. $52,000 I think she cost. She's doing good so far.
Is she a bit small, or?
She is. I don't think her mom was the biggest, but she's very well built. So the size really didn't matter to me.
Really doesn't matter whether they're small or large. They still get over the racetrack.
Yeah. Yep.
Stepping past ya. This is a 2-year-old filly by Down by the Seaside, Hoof Prints in the Sand.
Yeah, she's. We purchased her, Dana Parham, Carl Howard, and myself at the Ohio Select sale. She's out of a mare that I actually trained, Better Love Next Time. Better Love Next Time was a really good mare. She made like $600,000 in Ohio. She had the track record at Scioto, Northfield, and went at 150 pretty much everywhere she was. The Meadows, Hoosier, Scioto. So she's got a license to be a good filly.
Do you find the Down by the Seasides have a common trait?
That's a good question. You know, I think most good stires stamp them, and they seem to come in all shapes and sizes, but they're all good bodied. They're all good bodied, but that's a good question.
When you say they're all good body, I guess that's what conformation's all about.
Yeah, they just seem to have some mass in good places, you know, chest and hind end, which are two things I like. So.
Did you ever have a horse in your stable, though, that had terrible conformation that won a lot of money?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can remember times where, you know, this time of the year, one of the worst ones ended up being pretty darn good. So, yeah, you always kind of manage your expectations.
So you still play the odds, though, and go with the conformation.
Yeah, for sure. Always looking for conformation and pedigree. Yep.
This is a 2-year-old filly by Fear of the Dragon. Odds on Red Dragon.
Yeah, Dana Parham purchased her at the Select sale. She's actually a sister to SECTIONLINE Big Rye, or the same family, which is nice. That SECTIONLINE family, that line, there's like 2 or 3 mares. All they do is produce winners. So again, Dana bought her for some broodmare residual. But hopefully we can race her for a few years and do good.
This is the only Fear of the Dragon that you've got.
Yeah, I'm just sold on the Down by the Seasides. This one was, she looked exceptional, and she had pedigree, and her conformation was impeccable. So, we took this one. I think she brought 55,000 at the select sale, but yeah, I think I'm a little biased towards the Down by the Seasides, considering how good they raced. And you can buy any other sire, but you're going to have to race against the Down by the Seasides. That's kind of. But this filly has enough pedigree on the dam side. I think she'll be fine.
Odds on, Red Dragon. This is the only pet rock that you've got, Ruff Rock.
Yeah, he's a homebred, Carl Howard's. I own part of him with my brother-in-law Jeff Rector. Yeah, he's a pet rock out of a mare I raced, LOREENAS Ruffian, a really nice mare, and I really like this colt so far. Really, really like him.
One pet rock, a horse that really, you had the stamp on that one. You think of pet rock, you think of Virgil Morgan Jr.
Yeah, we retired him. He was a double world record holder, made a couple $1 million for us. I think he came into the state at the wrong time. We didn't have the slot revenue then, and the brood mares that he were bred to, they weren't quite the caliber that are here now. And he's thrown he's thrown Gold Digger King, SECTIONLINE Big Rye, Pen Paper Page. I mean, he's thrown some nice horses. I just don't know that he ever got the mares, that say like a Down by the Seaside's getting. But yeah.
That's what happens in the breeding industry, though. The new horses that are coming on the stage, they get all the best, good, real good brood mares and such. And Pet Rock's been on the breeding shed for a number of years now, so it's now probably hard for him to get a decent mare.
I hope that's not the case. I hope he still keeps getting some mares, but obviously the better mares are going to go to Down by the Seaside, and then I guess the rest will trickle down. But he still has thrown his fair share of good ones. And
any traits of Pet Rock here in Ruff Rock?
Yeah, just good attitude. He's got a killer attitude. Pet Rock always just loved to do his work. And one thing about Pet Rock, he always kept his composure. He was a professional. He wasn't rude in the mouth in any way. He was a really good horse to drive. You could cut him. He won in 47 on the front end, and he won in 48, from off the pace. So the versatility. But yeah, this guy, he acts a lot like Pet Rock in that manner, and he's out of a really good mare. Like I said, a MCARDLE mare, LOREENAS Ruffian, which is a good family. So I'm a little excited about this one.
You mentioned attitude, but attitude is an important part.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's just like kids going to school. You want them to pay attention. You want them to learn, and yeah, attitude right now, you can have all the pedigree in the world, and like I told an owner the other day, your filly doesn't know what you paid for. None of them do. They don't know what you paid for them. Yeah, attitude is huge right now. Huge.
A pet rock named Ruff Rock. This is a 2-year-old filly by What the Hill. Just happens to be a half sister to Action Uncle. This is Action Ellie.
Yeah, so we bought her at select sale for $30,000. Myself, Larry Wills, and Carl Howard. She's out of a mare I raced, Action Broadway, and she's a half sister to Action Uncle. So so far so good. Really happy with her.
Action Broadway, you kind of always liked her, and it seems like you always have a foal of Action.
Yeah, I'll take as many as she can produce. She's been good to me and all. As a racehorse, she made over $1 million, and she threw Action Uncle. So I've got no complaints. But this filly, she has a lot of traits of Action Uncle. Really good attitude.
It seems like she's cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, she's a little aggressive in a good way on the track, which I don't mind. I would much rather have her that way than a deadhead. But yeah, she got a good attitude, really good attitude.
Action Ellie, half sister to Action Uncle. Another Down by the Seaside filly. This is Seaside Party.
Yeah, we bought her at Lexington. I think she cost $105,000. Larry Wills and Howard Kornblum, they purchased her. She's out of a really good family. The family has nothing but 2-year-old speed. They've all taken marks as 2-year-olds. Right now, she's doing exceptional. Knock on wood, really good built. Yeah, she's doing good.
I seem to remember the mare, Marty Party 2.
Yeah, so again, that whole family, when you look at it, second, third dam, they've thrown nothing but 2-year-old speed. Every horse has taken a mark as a 2-year-old, so that's definitely something that we look for.
In the process of training horses down, do you have a certain time that you want to be at a certain point in the season, or do you let the horse determine that time?
A little bit of both. You know, how mature they are developing. Did we have to take any OCD chips out? Did they get sick? Yeah, there's different variables. You know, ideally, you know, the 1st of April, if I'm in 220, I'm good. You know, but yeah, the horse will tell you.
Seaside Party, a 2-year-old filly by Down by the Seaside. This is Flirt Hill by What the Hill, a rather large filly.
Yeah, so we purchased her at Lexington sale in Kentucky. Larry Wills and Dick McClellan purchased her for, I think, $50,000, $52,000. A big filly out of a nice mare. The mare had a mark of 53. Don't really want her to grow much more. She's a big filly, but so far so good.
Do big fillies and colts have problems that maybe the smaller horses don't have?
Yeah, I think they can. It just depends on the foal date. You know, a lot of that. Were they a February foal, a March foal? Are they a big? You know, I had a late foal this year that was a late May foal that was big. So you know, it depends. Are they developed? OCD chips. There's so many different variables. You know.
But she handles her size pretty good
She
right
does.
now.
Yeah, she's really good that way right now. I just I don't know how much bigger we want her. I don't want her to get too much bigger, but she's doing good now.
She's, you know, she's going to get a little bigger when she goes to the 3-year-old season. You
Sure.
would think.
Yeah. You know, you'd be surprised. Some mares as 2-year-olds, when they come in, I've you know, again, it depends on the individual. Some of them they don't grow too much. The smaller ones you do want to grow. You know, to get a little size, a little mass on them. But she's big enough now.
2-year-old filly by What the Hill, known as Flirt Hill. 2-year-old filly by Down by the Seaside. This was a $200,000 purchase. Elusive Beauty.
Yeah, Dana Parham, he went to the select sale. He picked out probably 5 or 6 that he liked, and this was one of his top picks, obviously. And she cost $200,000. You know, she's got great pedigree. Eric Cherry has since bought half of her with him. Those two together, just pedigree guys that are looking, pedigree gurus looking for brood mares. She's got great residual value as a brood mare. Right now, she's doing excellent on the track. Really good.
Out of the mare Swinging Beauty.
Yeah, so Swinging Beauty's had 2 really good colts. I think both of them have taken marks of 48 and change, if I'm not mistaken. And the family's just impeccable. She's got really good conformation. She's going to make an excellent broodmare someday, but hopefully that's going to be a few years.
2-year-old filly, Elusive Beauty by Down by the Seaside. Got a price tag on her at the beginning, $200,000. 2-year-old colt by Down by the Seaside. Tide Has Turned.
Yeah, so Robert Cooper purchased this one. I think Jerry Silva is a partner with him. So Robert Cooper and Jerry Silva purchased him at the Ohio Select sale. He was $100,000. He's out of a Badlands Hanover mare, which I think will be a great cross with Down by the Seaside. That's a really good cross with Some Beach Somewhere. And he's a big boy, doing really good. Diana Regal takes care of him. She does an excellent job with him. He can be a handful on certain days, but so far so good.
Out of the mare Crying Game.
Yeah, again, she was a Badlands Hanover mare, and you might find one as good looking as him, but you're not going to find a better looking colt. He stands correct, yeah, a little ornery at times. So we'll see if he'll keep those testicles, but so far he's hanging in there that way.
2-year-old colt, but down by the seaside. Tide has turned. 2-year-old gelding by What the Hill. This is Burton's Hill.
Yeah, so this is a homebred What the Hill out of Dick McClellan's mares. I think he has like 4 excellent brood mares, and Burton's out of one of them. He's doing really well so far. Real happy with him.
A gelding this early in his career?
Yeah, he had 2 colts. We've got another one, Lash High, and it's a What the Hill colt, and he gelded both of them, and their manners are impeccable, and I think a lot of it has to do with that, so it was just something that they gelded both of them before I got them, so it's worked out good so far.
This is Burton's Hill by What the Hill, and a gelding early in his career. Lash High, a 2-year-old colt by What the Hill.
Yeah, this is another homebred What the Hill out of Dick McClellan's mare. As I said earlier, his brood mares are they're second to none. They're really good, excellent brood mares. And so far, this colt, he's training down with Burton, his other colt, and both are doing good, real good so far.
Dick McClellan, he's been with you a long time.
Yeah, actually a few years. And Dick's had some excellent horses. His dad, had a horse called OK Dick back in the day that was an excellent open trotter. And I can remember going to the races when I was younger, watching him race, and I had no idea until he told me that was his dad's horse back then. But Dick won the Hamiltonian, with...
A lot of horses, when you hear they're homebreds, people kind of downgrade them and such. But that's not the case when they come from McClellan.
No. Like I said, Dick McClellan, Dana Parham, Eric Cherry, Tom Hill, the broodmare band those guys have. They're second to none. They can hold their own with Hanover or Hunterdon or any farms. Their mares are legit.
How's Lash High doing this?
Really good so far. I'm happy with all the trotters so far.
All of your trotters?
So far. Again, at this stage, if they're going to be good, they better be good right now.
What are you shooting for, qualifying win?
So I usually qualify all mine twice, if not 3 times, and we'll go mid-June.
Yeah, once Scioto's open and having the qualifiers?
Yeah, mid to 3rd week of June is what we'll shoot for.
Okay. Lash High, colt by What the Hill. This is a 2-year-old filly by Racing Hill, Channel Hill, and she's got some expensive blood in her.
Yeah, so she's a homebred of Tom Hill's, and Eric Cherry, Let It Ride stable, I believe owns half of her with him. Tom actually raced the sire, owns the sire and raced it, Racing Hill, and then it's out of his mare, and she's a half-sister to Party Girl Hill, who I believe made like 1.7 million and had a mark of 47, so she's got a license to be a good filly.
Does she appear to be a good filly early on?
Yeah, and I've found that the traits, I've had quite a few Racing Hills for Tom Hill. They're all really good looking. They stand correct, and they're aggressive in a good way as 2-year-olds. So it didn't surprise me that she's training as good as she is.
I met Tom Hill many years ago, it seems like many years ago, back in 2014. He races over in the British Isles, and Scotland, Wales, and such, but he's got a big contingent of horses now racing here in the States.
Oh, he's got some of the best race mares in the country. I mean, Nicky Hill last year, I think he's won the Breeders' Crown. Tom has like, 2 or 3 years in a row with his fillies. So, yeah, he had Western Silk, I believe. Yeah, he's got some really nice mares.
Chanel Hill, a 2-year-old filly by Racing Hill. This is a 2-year-old filly down by the Seaside, odds on Seaside, and we got a newcomer with us, Virg.
Yeah, that's my main man, Trey. That's my son. This is odds on Seaside. So Dana Parham purchased her at Harrisburg. She's down by the Seaside filly. The second dam, actually, World Sweetheart, is the dam of Mr. Big, who I trained. So little family there.
Trey Morgan, gotta ask about this. He's bigger than you are.
Don't say that. He's about 6'5" now, so he reminds me of that periodically.
Well, this is one odds on Seaside, down by the Seaside filly. She's not as big as some of that other filly we saw.
No, she's medium size, good size.
Maybe it's because I see both of his bookends here.
Yeah, there you go. That's
smaller.
it. But she's medium size, good conformation, and like I said, she's got some family, and she's down by the Seaside, so we'll take as many of those as we can get.
You got 5 of them this year, so that's your principal along on the pacing side, and on trots are all what the hill. So I want to wish you the best with this crop of 2-year-olds.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that.
Well, that concludes this edition of Freshman Focus. We'd like to thank all the staff of the Virgil Morgan Jr. stable and Virgil himself for giving us quite a bit of time this morning for this edition. Join us again next Thursday for another edition of Freshman Focus.
This has been Freshman Focus, a look at 2-year-olds in training across the Buckeye State. Freshman Focus is presented by Sugar Valley Farm. Looking for your next quality standardbred racehorse? Look no further than Sugar Valley Farm in Delaware, Ohio. And by Eldorado Scioto Downs. Racing begins May 4th, with the next generation scheduled for July 2nd and 3rd. Freshman Focus is a presentation of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association.